Yo, welcome back to the Audio Theory Podcast. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button as well as the subscribe button. What's good, Danny? How have you been?
I've been good, dude. Really good, actually, bro. I had a lit weekend, like underrated, adult rated lit weekend, bro. Like it was, my girl was out of town at a bachelorette, and honestly, I thought she's gonna get more lit than I did. But that didn't work out for her, so it is what it is. So like, I can't.
Nice.
It is what it is. But bro, I went out with my boy Friday night. We had dinner, bro, rooftop vibes. And then Saturday, bro, I went out with all my guy friends who have like kids so we could watch like the USA basketball game. So that was like a middle of the day at a bar with like a bunch of 2-year-olds running around. And that was fucking lit, bro. Like I was like, oh, this could be fun. If I'm so lucky in the future. And then Sunday, dude, I woke up, played pickleball like at 7 a.m. for like a couple hours. And then, bro, had like a fire brunch. And every night, bro. So the Friday night I went out, the Saturday midday, and the Sunday brunch day, bro, I was in bed by like 9 o'clock every night. It was phenomenal, bro. Like
Nice.
I was still hung over. Monday, I was, bro, bad. Bro, the hangover was still very much there. But I think it was just like, oh, dude, you can go out, get wild, and still be in bed at a reasonable hour. I think I really appreciated that. I just need to figure out a better balance of like, bro, I've been working out nonstop because I feel like when you finally start seeing results, you're like, all right, cool, I'll keep doing this. So I think the dehydration from working out with the dehydration of all the drinking fucked me up Monday and maybe a little bit today. But it was nice. Like, all right, dude, yeah, you can go out, have a great time, be out for 4 or 5 hours, but still be home at a reasonable hour. I feel like it's nice to have those reminders. I feel like sometimes when you don't go out enough, you're like, well, I'm going to stay out till 5 a.m. because like I never go out. It's like, bro, like,
yeah.
Like there's an in between. Like,
yeah. No, I definitely feel you on that. And funny enough, that's kind of like how my weekend felt. I didn't get as lit as the last one, but Friday, I decided to try out this new fitness gym that's not too far from me. So it's like a mix of yoga, cardio, boxing, and strength training. And
it's like Barry's though, with the idea of like you move on from like different set to different set.
Yeah, I would say it's very similar to Barry's. The ambiance is a bit different. Barry's is like that red light that's constantly there, but this kind of, it felt like it was like a dim nightclub. There's like different colored neon lights and they're playing mostly EDM, but it is different from Barry's in the sense that everyone's aligned and doing the same activity at once. It's not as big.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so you're doing like you're doing yoga first for the 15 minutes, then transition to boxing, then to strength training, then back to boxing, and then some yoga, and then you dip. And I didn't realize how hard yoga actually is.
Brutal.
If you're not flexible, especially.
Brutal.
And it's a lot, it's very like you could feel it strengthening your muscles. It looks pussy on TikTok and stuff, but it's actually very difficult.
Yeah, you're probably, because I remember the times I did yoga back in the day. I feel like that's when I actually sweated the most.
Yeah, it's rough. And maybe the first 15 minutes, I was like, why did I sign up for this shit? Because I can't make it through the next 45 minutes, but it was really dope. And then Saturday, had a day out with the wifey. So we had a couple of drinks.
Nice.
Got lit at the movie theater. Had a margarita. Cuckoo. I don't recommend it. I fell asleep.
Cuckoo. Why have I not heard of that?
It's a horror movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it's also not that good. I haven't seen too much marketing around it. Not that good. It's one of those like weird kind of horror movies. It's not just straightforward, like there's a ghost in the house, get the fuck out. It's like psychological in a way. But fell asleep, and since I was kind of lit, I went home, and around 8, I fell asleep on our guest bed and just did not wake up. So I slept for another 12, 13 hours, did that fitness class again Sunday.
Oh, sick.
Invited
so
some friends.
Did you join you joined the gym, or you like you're trying it out still?
It was a trial. So $7 for 7 days, which is super cheap, obviously.
Oh, that's fire.
So I wanted to make the most of it. So I invited friends to it. They had fun. And I don't know about you, but like, I don't know, when you work out hard, the adrenaline's still pumping. You're like, I need to go out and like do something now. Cause I'm feeling good, endorphins are flowing or whatever. So turns out there was this jazz festival in San
Oh, I
Jose.
saw that. That was dope.
Yeah.
Nice. I looked dope. Was it a good time?
Great time. It's funny because my boy Moon, who was there as well, as he's looking around, he's like, "Damn, like being an old head, like I much prefer that because I don't know. There's just something about like older folks having fun that makes it like innocent, and they're there for the music. They're not there for Instagram or
Yeah.
trying to like do what the cool kids are doing. Like they're just dancing, having a good time.
Yeah.
Had some food and drinks, and then fortunately dodged a Monday hangover, but really smooth weekend.
Good for you, bro. Yeah. So, dude, I would say Saturday because on the East Coast, that basketball game ended like around 6 o'clock. So I'm like, bro, it's 6 o'clock on a Saturday. I'm like, bro, should I just go like to my favorite sushi spot by myself and get like more drunk and keep eating? Like, I don't know, bro. Like, there's like, those nights where you're like, bro, like I should go home.
Mm-hmm.
But like, there's also a part of me that like, bro, you should stay out. But I went home. I was just like, bro, like I wanted my wife with me, bro. I know it sounds like corny, but like, I'm like, bro, like this would be like a fun date night now that I hung out with the boys, watch the game, and now let's go do our own thing. And I was like, well, fuck, I'll just go home and watch Sopranos. But Saturday was one of those nights too. So what's the is the chain of the fit is like a chain, like a franchise for the fitness thing, or it's just like a local San Jose thing?
Yeah, I think it's just a local San Jose thing. It's called YBX. Maybe they have gyms elsewhere, but it seemed like they just had been around for like maybe a year or two.
Got it. But that's the concept though, right? Like it's
yoga boxing.
It's always a class kind of a thing.
Yeah, they have a couple other ones, but it's always a class of some sort, strength training. They have one, and for some reason, the instructor kept trying to get me to sign up to booty camp, like the chick that I first met at the thing. I'm like, I don't know what this means. Like either you're saying my ass needs to be better, I'm gay, or you're just really trying to get people in that class because nobody's doing that shit. But the yoga box, the whole reason I wanted to go was for the boxing portion, and then the yoga's a nice to have because I never do that shit.
The yogas are great to have, especially if you're gonna keep running the way you've been running the past like 6-7 months. Like the yoga is a must have, if anything, bro.
Yeah. So it was cool to switch it up for a change.
Nice. Yeah, dude. That's why I'm enjoying pickleball for the switch up. But yeah, I feel like at some point I need to have like I gotta find a gym, dude. I just the idea of like paying more than like $25 a month for a gym just like doesn't sit right with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because I'm like, realistically, bro, I just need a couple things and I could do this at home. But like, I don't have the equipment at home. But like, if you want me to pay $75 to like $150 a month for a gym, I'm like, bro, like this seems ridiculous.
No, that's steep.
Yeah, but people I feel like I don't know what Equinox is, but I know it's insane. Like Equinox is almost like fucking like car money,
300 or some shit.
Yeah, so it's like doesn't really make sense. But again, power to them. But I'm glad you're enjoying that, dude. Are you gonna sign up then for the monthly membership?
To be honest, I don't think they have a monthly membership. I'm sure you could do some unlimited class thing, but realistically, I'll probably go like 3 times a month or something. So I'm just gonna pay for the individual ones. I think it was like $20 a drop in, so nothing too crazy. I get a little bit of a stipend from work for like fitness, but nice. It's like $300 a year, which
bro, same.
Would be
again. Yeah, like dude, I use that towards. I use like that to like buy my sneakers for the marathon and like my attire. I actually I used it to pay the fee for the marathon, and then I still had some money left over and I bought sneakers. But like, if I use that shit in January, so I'm like, bro, that one like $300 ain't doing shit in like for the entire year. You know what I mean? So like it's very like it's. I appreciate free money, right? But I'm like, bro, make that shit like 3,000. Dog. What are we talking about?
Yeah, no, I feel you on that.
But all good, bro. Glad you're feeling fit. Obviously summer is coming to a close, which is crazy. But yeah, good. I'm glad that we're staying active, bro. But let's get into it. Episode 189 about to start. Episode 188 everywhere. I mean, last episode, bro, we went out of our way to ensure we didn't talk about Drake or Kendrick. And then he heard us and he was like, bro, here's 100 gigs for your head top. I dare you not to fucking talk about me, bro. So, I want to say, when was this? It wasn't over the weekend. So this was like, he dropped the website. What? Like we recorded on Tuesday, so maybe like around Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah, around then, like right
Yeah,
before the weekend.
right
Few
before
days
the weekend. Yeah. So he drops 100 gigs, which essentially is 3 brand new songs, and then hundreds of videos of behind the scene footage from as recent as now till as far back as like the So Far Gone days. Right? Is that a good assessment?
Yep.
So, did you have a chance to go through any of it before we get into the songs? Like, what? Let's just look at it from a strictly like a him making this move. Like, what were your thoughts with this move in itself?
I mean, immediately, like when I hear the word leak at this point, I think it's all intentional. Especially just given the context of the beef. So my immediate thoughts were, this is kind of a strategy to release a ton of content and see what sticks. And, obviously if something does stick, it'll help elevate his reputation from, the place it's gone due to the Kendrick beef. And then on top of that, I think like a lot of the footage and stuff was a tactic to make it appear like, hey, like I'm really out in the studio, like doing this shit, and to refute the claims that has writers and they do everything. He just kind of sits back on his yacht and chills out. I think it was a statement or a response to everyone just to gear up for more intentional music.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, dude, I think all that's right. Did they say it was a leak, by the way? Was that ever a comment?
Yeah, apparently he has a Finsta, like a fake Instagram.
Yeah.
That was where they leaked it or announced it. So I don't know if like I think they're saying leak just because Drake didn't like specifically co-sign it, but I think it was like very obvious that Drake's team and he was behind it. So
okay,
I think they just called it a leak because Drake didn't co-sign it
until he did, like in a big way, obviously. Right. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, just to rate the move, bro. I mean, good. Before even getting into the song, which I think helps the overall message from him, man, like, dude, bravo, bro. Because again, we've both been saying like, bro, lay low, like, stop what you're doing, bro. Out of all the PR advice I would have given him, this one wasn't even a thought. And again, I just think because, bro, this is like almost like evil genius type shit, bro, because it makes you remember. Again, dude, we're going back to So Far Gone days, bro. That's 2009, right? So essentially he's giving you footage for the last 16 years, right? And dude, what, 16 years ago you were how old? 19?
16 years ago, yeah, around 19.
Yeah, bro. So essentially he's reminding you how our entire adult life he's been an integral part, bro. And you see him like growing up. You see him in the studio. You see him having intimate conversations with his mom about dating, about how like he wants Future on Hotline Bling, but it maybe doesn't make. Dude, it just like there's so many nuances to it, bro. It's like a perfect little like autobiography, but without like shoving it down your face, even though he kind of is, right? Because it's Drake and anything he drops, we all feel like we have to go peep it. But man, this is such a easy way to say refute everything that's been said about him the last, 3 months? Without having to drop a fucking diss song that says, that's incorrect, you're lying about this, you know what I mean? Like, it was a way to do it without putting it on record, right? That's why I think when we enjoy the songs are just enjoyable, right? You're like, bro, I don't need you to respond to anything, bro. Just give me music, right? And I think he was able to achieve that, bro, because again, I think I've especially been like, bro, just stop, bro. Like, stop fucking posting Insta stories. Like, stop using phrases stop saying pop out. Like, bro, just stop talking and come back in the winter. And bro, for him to do this, I think it was genius, bro. Like, even like my girl who doesn't really know much about any situation, but obviously like any human being in America knows that Drake's been dogged for the last 3 months. Even she was like, oh, but this makes you like kind of love him all over again. And it's like, for real, bro. Like, I feel like for those, I think you've been saying this and I agree with you. Like, for those fan base that was like in between, right? Who like never hated Drake, but like maybe were over him, right? This is kind of a reminder to that fan base of like, oh yeah, this guy was pretty cool. Like, Yeah, I did enjoy that time of him, and I do remember when that song came out. Like, oh, and he seemed like such a nice guy, right? I think this all makes us feel like, bro, this guy just a nice artist who enjoys making music. Like, that's the tone that came through, like in all of that.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I mean, me myself, I think the 100 gigs, just that number, like turned me off in terms of not like I wasn't upset with the move. It was more so I for sure don't have time to fucking or
Yeah.
an interest in digging through all this shit to find the nuggets. So personally, besides like the three songs, of course, I've only seen snippets here and there from like I don't know academics or whoever's on YouTube is posting stuff, and it was cool to see and like relive some of those moments. But still, I feel like regardless, similar to Chris Brown or whoever else has managed to come back, I think as long as he produces good, catchy music, like after a certain amount of time, people just conveniently forget and are like, oh shit, yeah, I forgot how much I love, 80% of the stuff he puts out or whatever the case is.
Yeah. Yeah. And dude, dude, I'm a Drake super fan, I would say. And bro, there was no way I was going through those 100 gigs of videos. There was no fucking way. So like I saw like 7 on my own. Like I just like kind of went to random folders on the website. And then I realized when I was posting stuff for our page that bro, like other people are just creating like 14-minute long TikToks. With just like all of it. I was like, oh, bro, this is way easier.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I was just like, let the internet do the dirty work because they'll find the nuggets that are worth watching instead of like, I'm not trying to watch Drake and 21 Savage like whisper in some booth for fucking 15 minutes. Like, that's the shit I want to waste my time with.
Yeah, but I think what also was a good reminder, bro. Like, and again, I don't think he posted anyone or he didn't leak or show any videos of like someone he doesn't fuck with right now. However, it was a good reminder of like how many people fuck with him, right? Like there was a few videos of him and Virgil. There was a few videos, obviously, of 21, obviously his whole crew, Chubbs, the works, 21, like it was just cool to see that, right? Because again, if you lived in a bubble and you only focus on this like last 3-month run of everything, you would think this guy had no friends, bro. Like this guy was just the worst human being in the world and had no friends. No one fucked with him. And I'm like, I don't know, bro. Like this just seems like a really nice dude with like him and his boy chopping up in the studio, trying to like all those videos of him and 40, bro. Great. They sound like two fucking nerds, like just geeking out. Dude, they sound like us, bro. Like just geeking out over music and like how they can fix this. And like, but there was one clip where he's like asking them before I think submits the final version of Views. He's like, listen, this is my vision, this is what I think about it, but like I love you guys, like tell me what I should change if you don't feel good about something, right? And they have like a whole back and forth for like, dude, that's amazing, bro, right? Because then you're like, we always tell these people, hey, don't be around yes men. So like it was cool that there was actual discussion like that, bro. So again, it just gave it like a very much like it reminded the viewer like he's a real dude, as opposed to, again, all these phrases that he's been called the last 3 months where, again, even if you're a Drake stan, bro, you can't avoid this shit. So even anyone starts having like, well, maybe he's a bit of a colonizer and maybe, maybe he does run to, like, it's hard to not have those thoughts. So it's nice without him having to say it, he was able to refute it with those videos.
Yeah, no, I think on his part, it's a genius move. And based on like what I see on his his Reddit subreddit, which is obviously super biased because either you're like a hater just trolling in that thread or you're obsessed. Suck Drake's dick. Like there's no in between. And just observing what people typically say like about this whole release, they're just enthralled and think it's like the greatest thing ever to get a sneak peek into his life. For me, it's still like, I don't know, part of me's still annoyed in the sense that I, for myself, want a break from his music because I feel like I'm having a hard time like appreciating it when it's like a week goes by and then there's just something new that leaks and something new that's out. And I feel like I don't have a chance to like just sit there and appreciate the shit he's already delivered. I feel like he's constantly like wanting us to move on from the last thing to the next thing. And for as a music listener, just with all the other shit that's coming out at the same time too, I feel like I'm uh put in this difficult position where I don't have time to like let things breathe, especially because not only does he drop it, but then every fucking YouTuber and TikTok and Twitter is also talking about it. I know it's kind of ironic because we are, but I think that makes it even trickier to like
digest.
Let it digest. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting though, because for me, man, I feel like he's being strategic in the way that we're not getting bodies of work, right? Like I think about when like Russ would just drop a song a week and like Kanye did like the Good Fridays, right? Like this feels in hindsight now for him, I think this is very similar to that, bro. Like here's a song, here's one more song, here's two more songs, but I'm not giving you an album, right? I'm just giving you enough to keep you guys coming back for more. And then, bro, what it's done for me is that hypothetically, bro, he'll drop an Ugly or a Sideways with Gordo or whatever, right? Dude, that's making me go back and listen to Honestly Nevermind. It's making me go back and listen. Dude, I've listened to Views I probably listened to Views more recently than I ever did when it dropped back in 2016, right? So for me, I think he's being smart and not giving us a full body of work as opposed to just giving us, bro, here's another song. Here's two more that you might like, right? And like, if we like it, great. But I do think that's making people, again, I could be a minority in this one, but it's made me go back and listen to old shit because I'm like, oh, this is a reminder of that. Or I'm trying to remind myself, I'm like, bro, I'm not going to let the world tell me I'm not a fan of this guy, right? Because some of the beef is like trying to almost like make you think like, okay, bro, maybe this is true what you're saying about him. But I also know how I felt when I heard these songs back in 2018 and I was losing my mind. And like, so like, I'm trying to almost like confirm that I wasn't crazy, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, did I miss the red flags? Like, what the fuck is going on? Did I not enjoy that? I'm like, bro, I know I enjoyed that. So for me personally, as a Drake stan, like it's made me actually go back and appreciate dude, how many times have we spoken about, or I've sent you screenshots of like old Drake songs over the last 2 or 3 months, right? Like, it's made me go do that as opposed, but I agree. Like if he would have dropped like For All the Dogs yesterday, and that's like a 20 fucking track, then I'm like, oh bro, relax, bro. Like what are we doing here? But I can do a 1-2 song here, a feature there, because it's still like, again, I'm thinking about like Russ and the Good Fridays. Like it's just like, hey, bro, constant teasers as opposed to here's 18 songs. Good luck to you.
Right. Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, like I keep hearing that Nothing Was the Same was, a lot of people think that's his best one or one of the best. And I had to remind myself, because he's released so much fucking music, I had to remind myself like what were the bangers from that. And more recently I've been listening to All Me with 2 Chainz like over and over and over.
Is that with Big Sean too or no?
Yeah. Big Sean, he did his thing on it, and I don't know, that song's fire. But not to get on a tangent with that, but do you think with this 100 gig thing and all the other stuff going on, do you think we're like a focus group essentially for what he wants to do next? Or do you think this is just like, let me keep, myself within the ecosystem while I do whatever I want to do, and I'm not really checking for what the response is?
Oh, you mean like a focus group is like, okay, gotcha. Yeah, no, I don't think it's that. I think it's, let me not let them forget who the fuck I am, right? Because I think that's one of our topics in the rundown later. Like, I do think at the Pop Out show, bro, so going back almost 2 months now, June 19th, it felt like, bro, this guy's done, bro. You know what I mean? We were talking about the stimulus package is over. Is Kendrick and all of these LA dudes about to just drop back to back and just take over hip hop for like the next year? Right? I think these were like general thoughts and conversations we had not less than 2 months ago. So I think this is more of a reaction to like, bro, you're not gonna, I'm not going anywhere, bro. Like, I think that's what it is, right? Because I don't know, man, I feel like he has enough finstas or enough people he trusts that he'll play the music and they'll figure out like, bro, that sound is what the sound is right now. I don't think he needs us to tell him, hey, bro, I want you to do more dance hall right now.
Got it.
What do you think?
I would say there's probably not black and white. I feel like it's a mixture. Like, I don't think he's literally waiting on academics and his
Confirmation.
chat group to
Yeah.
be like, oh, they like the Afrobeat shit. Let me only release that next or something. But at the same time, I feel like if people were to seriously rock with one song, and it was like disproportionate or something, I think
That would be
maybe
the vibe.
lean into it a little bit more. But I don't think he's taking it that seriously to the point where he's has a team trying to gather feedback from every comment. I think but I do think it still matters to a degree.
I think it matters, but again, I also feel like that might be like disrespectful to like the level of artist he is, right? Because I do think at that level, like a Jay, a Kendrick, Cole, like you're also just putting out what you like, right? And then the audience kind of just gears themselves to enjoy it, right? If they fuck with you. Whereas, like, again, not to pick on this guy for the third episode in a row, but with a Mustard, it's like, bro, we only go to you for one thing, right?
Mhm.
Whereas I think we all go to Drake for something different, right? Like girls go to him for maybe like a slow song, right? Or like a romantic song. Some guys go for those certain bars. People go for the dance hall. Now people go to him for house, you know? So like, I think there's so many different versions of Drake's fans that I feel like you'll find something.
Mhm.
I don't think he is a kind of artist that's like, oh, well, this is the one thing they like from me, then that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. But I do still think, based on like his accusations or like evidence of kind of latching on to newer artists and sounds, I think that's kind of proof in the pudding that he's not as I don't know, what's the phrase I want to use? He's not as willing to take risks, I would say, as like maybe like a Kanye or Playboy Cardi, where like they straight up kind of don't give a fuck. Like Kanye releasing the unmixed shit and all that stuff. Cause I feel like him latching on to like Yeet and Sexy Red and what's the other dude? Central C. I think he does genuinely, as in like an artist, you kind of challenge yourself to work with, you know,
Stay relevant.
May not,
Yeah.
stay relevant. Like I could see that being part of the fun, is even though Sexy Red and Yeet and stuff maybe he doesn't get it. Maybe the challenge is, hey, let me work with them and find some chemistry.
Yeah.
But I think part of it too is like a strategic business move. So I feel like, I don't know how much he cares, what percent that is, but I feel like it's higher than his team would like to make us believe.
Yeah, for sure. But I think you and I have been around long enough that that's also not new, right? Like, again, Drake went on tour with fucking Jay-Z when Drake didn't have an album out, right? Like, that's, who's benefiting from that, right? Like, I think that's beneficial for both parties. But let's go to the content though, bro. So, dude, thank God they dropped this on DSPs over the weekend, because, dude, I love the songs. But I'm like, bro, like I don't want to deal with like having to go in. This sounds like such a first world problem. But like I don't want to go to the website to press play and it doesn't fucking keep playing. So it's officially on DSPs everywhere. What were your thoughts on the song? Did you have a standout? Tell the people.
Standout for me was It's Up, just standard dope trap Drake, which is ironic because I think that was kind of like one of Kendrick's biggest critiques, and even mine was like this pseudo gangster shit that he's been on with 21 Savage and stuff. But I think just musically it sounds really good and fun to
great,
me,
bro. Yeah,
like it's hard to deny that. And listening to it, I'm like, if it's very clear that something like this is gonna stick no matter what. Like, if the music's good, no one's gonna, like, Drake's not gonna be a stoppable force. I thought it was interesting that the other two songs were different genres in a sense. Like I think one was more like Afro beats and one was kind of like house. That's what kind of made me think, okay, this is like a focus group package to see which one of these three, like a A/B test type of thing. But I wasn't really feeling the other two. I don't think they were bad. I think to me they're just kind of like standard generic Drake. It didn't stick with me quite as much, but I've heard otherwise from Drake fans. So for me, It's Up was really the only one where I was like, I'm for sure going to replay this a bunch of times.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I don't know what the number's going to be, but I feel like they're all three songs are going to stream very well. I mean, one, because it's him, but I also think there's a lot of replayability. Also, when you only give people three songs, like they're going to go through the songs obviously very quickly. I thought It's Up was obviously a standout. I love the Young Thug hook, bro. Like that was great. Again, maybe he has a studio in prison. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe this is an old verse. We'll never know. But I love the bars by Drake. I love 21 Savage being there because, again, it's nice to see someone in the industry who has been fucking with him to a certain extent, jump on a track and, talk some shit with him by his side. So that was dope. But, dude, my favorite song was, what was it? Blue, Red, Green? Or
it's those three colors. I don't know the order though.
Let's look at the order. Let's not fuck this up. Yep. No, Blue, Green, Red. Blue, Green, Red. Bro, I love that fucking song, bro. I really fucking like that song. I don't even know what genre that is, bro, because there was a part of me that was like, is this like an emo dance hall thing? Because like when he starts singing about like, please tell my mother and, I saw my father, I'm like, it sounds like fucking like if Paramore jumped on a fucking like dance hall song, but whatever it is, bro, I love that fucking song. Like true, I think that's the one I replayed the most, if I'm being perfectly honest. But I really did enjoy the Housekeeping Knows. Again, it has almost that Freaknik, Rich Baby Daddy vibe, right? Lotto does a good job on it.
Yeah.
But bro, his verse on his first 16er is fire to me. Bro, like the thing about like if I fuck you, if you're my wife, but I fuck you like my mistress, what's the difference? I was like, bro, like I was like, Jesus, dog. Like, so yeah, man, like each of those songs, again, focus group or not, testing out what works or not, dude, they were all three of them were bangers to me, bro. Like, again, it was hard for me to, in like a couple different workouts, to like even move on to anything else, bro. So like I really enjoyed it, bro. And I'm grateful they're all on DSP. So it's like, you can add it to your library and, listen to it on moving forward. So yeah, man, I didn't really see a flaw. Again, I got nervous the first couple seconds on It's Up because I'm like, bro, he better not be singing for a whole song. Like if this is like his first like true, because like, even though he gave us the songs with Gordo and Camila Cabello, like this is really his first drop, if you think about it, right? Like,
yeah.
So for this to be the first drop and the first 10 seconds you're just singing, I'm like, bro, he's fucking up. But no, yeah, like you said, that I think It's Up was a lot of people's favorite song. So yeah, no, good for him, bro. Like again, this is, if you're gonna stay in the mix, this is how you do it, bro. And I don't know if this is gonna be the blueprint because I don't know how many other artists can pull this off, right? Like maybe a lot of artists don't even survive what the fuck he just went through, but. I mean, dude, like this, if this is a tease of what's to come, I'm not mad at it.
Yeah. And I will say, like, even though it seems odd that like there's so many different genres and stuff he's like apparently testing out at once, I think for me, it keeps it interesting because now I have no idea what his next major move is going to be. Because it's what, if he dropped like 10 Yeet sounding songs, I'd be like, oh, fuck, like, guess this is what we're getting next. But everything's so different. It seems like everyone gets to pick and choose what kind of Drake they're going to vibe with right now. And then whatever he does next is a question mark. But clearly he seems to be confident enough that, he's not going to go cry in his mansion and pray that Kendrick goes away. Like he's fighting back in some way.
Yeah, dude. But again, I don't know if it's the 100 gigs video, but bro, like, again, there's moments where I think on It's Up, he's talking at Kendrick. But then maybe like honestly, like once you go through the first three, the songs and you're enjoying it, bro, it's not even a thought, bro. Like honestly, I'm not thinking about like things that were said on Euphoria or Not Like Us while I'm like repeating Blue, Green, Red for the 20th time, bro. You know what I mean? Like it's not even a thought. So like it's interesting, bro, because that's a very interesting aspect of it, bro. Because at no point on It's Up and I'm like, oh, they're taking shots at. I think it was just like. Yeah, slick talk, op shit without having to say anything, but it's just so enjoyable, that type of music, that it's like, and bro, I don't really know anyone who does it better than him. So it's like, I'm just taking it for what it's worth, as opposed to like, this is a Kendrick Lamar response type shit.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't, I don't think it was direct enough. I think people alluded to 21 saying stuff, but even that was
Nah, bro.
vague. 21's always talking about fucking shooting somebody. And
yeah, and if Tupac got shot a million times, bro,
right.
it's like
yeah, there's no way. Like, and I don't think 21 Savage is afraid to be direct, anyways.
Yeah, correct. Do you think though? Because I saw that. We'll give a shout out to the Joe Budden Network. Do you think though there is still a response coming on record to Kendrick, or all of them, or none of them?
It's a good question. I could see something coming from Drake's standpoint, but I don't think it'll be as nearly direct as the other songs. I think it'll be direct enough though to where
we know
it's just 100% about Kendrick. He's gonna mention Compton or some shit. It's just gonna be obvious, and we'll bait Kendrick in. And I think the ball will be in Kendrick's court to where he has to decide if it's enough of a shot to warrant like releasing another career-ending, track or whatever. I don't think it's Kendrick. I don't think Drake's gonna go straight for his head though. Again, right now.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Especially when the response is, you never know, bro. I think at this point we clearly don't know what his next move is, but I don't know, man. I can see it. There's also a story here that your ego gets so inflated because you're like, oh, what? They love me again. And then he's like, well, I can do whatever I want. Let me just try one more time. But I don't know. It'll be interesting. But I do think there is going to be some song that has bars and it's undeniable, right? Like it's something along the lines of like, you got me, or you thought you did, but here I am. Or I think it's going to probably talk about like, again, I know that's going to be our next topic, but like, dude, I think time is showing us. And again, bro, I know we're also prisoner of the moment here, so like I'm saying this with a grain of salt. But like, I think it's also showing us recently, bro. I don't think Kendrick has the stamina for this, right? Like it feels that way, like at least because like, bro, I feel like post the pop out now feels like that was the peak, right? Because if you fast forward, the video comes out, no one cared. Bro, like again, dude, like it's been 2 months, or it's been a month and a half, bro. Have you gone back to watch that video?
No, but I never really enjoyed the video to begin with because it's
that's what I'm saying.
The pop out time part 2 or whatever.
That's what I'm saying. So the video didn't do anything, right, to keep that momentum going. We haven't got a song from Kendrick in any capacity post that, right? Again, I'm not saying these guys have to drop a song every month and a half, right? I'm not saying that either. But do you feel there's something to the extent of like, there was an opportunity here for Kendrick and his camp and his team that obviously extends now the entire LA rap scene, or the Bay, that wasn't taken advantage of?
I disagree with Kendrick not having the stamina. I think to your point, like that was a peak moment that couldn't have gone any better. And I think him doing anything else right now would just feel like overkill, even if it wasn't related to Drake. Like I think if he was just doing a bunch of other shit right now, it would it'd be difficult to maintain that momentum. And I feel like having a break is nice, which is like what I've at least been demanding from Drake, is like just a clean break, because even I was beginning to kind of get sick of Not Like Us and just the conversation around the beef. And I would like, several months of just nothing Kendrick related, and then like an announcement or like a single or something.
But isn't it odd though, to cut you off, but isn't that odd for him though, bro? Because he's always on a break, it feels like. Right? Like before this, we only heard him on Mr. Morale, which was, was it a year ago or was it 2 years ago?
Mr. Morale, I believe, was 2 years ago, because I was in my first apartment in the Bay.
Okay. That's what I'm saying though, right? So like, it's not like you're taking a break because you're always in the mix. You're taking a break from your breaks, So like, it just felt like, and again, I don't believe this, bro. The record shows we've been Kendrick. We obviously you're Kendrick. I've been a Kendrick Lamar supporter for years. I enjoy the albums, but then he had this moment recently, and then it feels like if you don't drop other things, then is this moment just because like all directed at who you had the moment with? Right, as opposed to this was a Kendrick Lamar moment. and now it's come and went, and everything was just related to Drake, right? Drake gave you this moment. Drake gave you your first number one hit. Like, again, I don't know if that's the narrative. I'm just saying it feels like I feel like the whole point of the pop out was to show out and then move on, but move on with, dude, here are new artists, here are new songs. Like, I know, bro, it just feels like there was an opportunity there to truly like just take over, right? Because that's what I feel like that the whole point of that fucking show was to take, like, hey, the West Coast is back, we're back on top, let's take over, as opposed to what it feels like now was that was a cool moment, but it was just a moment.
I feel like it was less of the West Coast is back and now we're about to take over. It felt more of like you're not gonna. It was more so like some loudmouth dude bothering the quiet dude in the corner who's minding his business, and then the quiet dude just got up with his homies and beat the shit out of that crew and was like, leave us the fuck alone. And then they walk back and go their separate ways. I felt like it was more of like a statement of like, you guys, are trying to, run the show, like specifically Drake in Atlanta and whatever else. And it's like, we're still our own force to be reckoned with, but it's not going to be followed with like a bunch of singles and album launch or release or whatever. And I feel like the song itself, Not Like Us, still hasn't like fully died. So
no, it hasn't. It hasn't.
I feel like it wouldn't make sense I feel like if he were to release something, he should wait till it's like actually just completely gone from the conversation. And then as far as like all the LA guys he had on stage, I think they're all kind of like in their own little bubble, and it was just an opportunity to showcase them, but I don't think there was really any other intention other than being like, the West is strong. Now everybody can see what we're all about, but like there wasn't really.
Do you think so? That's maybe like what you're saying. Do you think that was the right move though? Like if you were in control of those PR moves, would you have done the same thing?
I don't know. It's tough to say. I feel like.
And I only asked that, not to cut you off, but like, at the end of the day, this is like a business, right? Mm-hmm. So like, obviously artistry is at risk here, but I also feel like this is in a business model, kind of like using both hats. Like, I feel like there's an opportunity here to like, strike what the iron's hot. Like I feel that's a saying for a reason. And it just feels like, I don't know. I feel like there could have been more.
I'd say in a perfect world, yes. But if we're talking about like LA hip hop and like what might be holding it back, and they've alluded to this, like every time they talk about the show is like the gang politics prevent them from even truly collaborating and like growing in the business. And I think the thing is they're intentionally, like a lot of these rappers don't even want like major label looks and like Drake level commercial success. I think for them, like the gang life is first and the music stuff is like a cool legal hustle. And they're also like, even though you or whoever else may have no idea who they are, I think that their brand is so strong in California, which is obviously like one of the bigger states. They don't really, unless they really want to, they don't kind of have to branch out too much because they can be the man in their city. Yeah, they're eating and they're independent. Yeah, whatever else, and they don't have to interact with the weirdos of Hollywood and play those games and shit. They're like kind of stubborn in that sense.
Understood. Yeah, maybe. Again, I wanted to ask you that, bro, because just like, from my point of view, but you might be 100% right. It just felt like there was an opportunity here. I'm not saying to completely take over, but at least for TDE or Kendrick or whatever Kendrick had next up with PG Gang or whatever the fuck his label is, or him and Keem or whatever, bro. You know what I mean? Like, even tease it. Like I know there's like rumors that like that snippet of that song that he played at the beginning of the Not Like Us video was like his next single. Maybe, that's what it is. But I don't know, bro. It just feels like again, hindsight is always 2020. But it just feels like, especially after this weekend and in a real way, bro, Drake doesn't look like someone who just got his ass beat. bro. That's like that's my thing, bro. Like, so
Yeah.
I agree with that analogy for sure, right? Because in the moment, I'm like, bro, leave him alone. You know, like I was fucking ready to yell that shit.
Yeah.
But like now, I'm just like, dog, my guy seems. And again, it just might be that's how much of a genius Drake and his team is, right? That they can give us this illusion and make us forget about what we just witnessed. But I don't know, man. I feel like there was an opportunity here for Kendrick to. And again, I'm not even saying double down the beef. Like, if you want to let Not Like Us be the last beef song you drop to this guy, I'm all for it. But again, it almost feels like deja vu. Like, you drop something, we enjoy it, and then within 2 months, we're like, who are we talking about? You know, like what did he drop? You know what I mean? Like, it feels that way a little bit, bro. Because I feel like this is how we felt after Mr. Morale, right? We enjoyed it, we dissected it, and then we're like, yeah, that was cool. You know, and then we never went back to it, right? And again, I think people aren't going back to Not Like Us because we heard it a million times already. That's the why here. But it still feels another moment where he came, he conquered, and then he left. But I feel like everyone's okay with him not being around. And that just seems weird when you were just the king of the world for a 2.5 to 3 month span.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we're like looking at it from the lens of just like superstars who want to make it. Cause I mean, he said to Drake, like, only you like being famous. And I think a lot of these guys just really don't give a fuck about, like, I think in Kendrick's world, like, it's not like a missed opportunity or how can I like maintain relevance over Drake or any of that. I think it was just like, I literally only did this because
I hate you.
sick of Drake like doing subliminals, and it just so happened to like work much better than I anticipated. But like, I don't have some like secret scheme to get like every LA rapper streaming numbers on his level or anything like that. Like, I think all these dudes like don't even care about Drake that much or like being famous. I think they're just worried about their local community, for better or for worse. And this was just like a moment for everyone to somehow have the entire world like check them out for a couple hours on stage.
Yeah, no, dude, you're probably right. Yeah, I was just I wanted to have the conversation because I feel like, again, for me personally, it just felt like after the pop out, I was like, oh, bro, I'm about to hear about a bunch of LA artists. I was fine with it, but I just felt like that was what's about to happen, right, bro? Like, we're on top. We're gonna be putting out the content now. New World Order type shit. Yeah. And then Mustard flopped immediately. I was like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, that was strange. But I think that's like, it makes everything look like an illusion.
When he dropped right away, I was like, all right, this is what, and they were talking about a Roddy Ricch album coming. I was like, all right, cool, this makes sense. And then it was just like, again, that flaming out, maybe that's also blurring my vision, but because he clearly tried to take advantage of the momentum, and dude, rightly so, bro. I feel like that's what you do.
Yeah.
But you're right. I feel like he's also a different kind of artist compared to the rest of the LA scene that we've been talking about.
Yeah, because someone like Mustard, like, you kind of have to chase the hit and the streams to like be relevant. Because if you're a producer / DJ, like, you thrive on people mostly, you know, checking your shit out. It's not like an Alchemist where you have like this cult following and you can kind of do whatever the fuck you want. Like, Mustard needs the hits to get the respect for the most part, and it just didn't work out.
It didn't work out. Yeah, maybe that's like staining the rest for me. But again, put your thoughts in the comments. And do you think a ball was dropped here? This is the right move by that camp. All right, I wanted to bring up one quick thing. Damn, which should we do? Let's do Rolling Loud, bro. So Rolling Loud's about to celebrate 10 years in operation. Yo, was the Miami Rolling Loud the first Rolling Loud?
Yes.
It was, right? Because those guys went to FSU, so I think they just stayed local, or that's okay, cool. So it's going to be 10 years of Rolling Loud this year. And we had a conversation offline that we wanted to bring to the pod, where if you would have told us this is the same lineup from 2014, we would believe you, right? It's what? It's Playboi Carti, one of the headliners, Travis Scott, one of the headliners, and Future, one of the headliners. So is that them paying homage in a dope way? Or do you think this is just laziness and not trying to fuck up a thing that clearly keeps working for them financially? And by them, I'm meaning the guys who run Rolling Loud.
Yeah, I think it's a if it ain't broke, don't fix it type situation. I don't think they really have a choice because those headliners have been the headliners damn near every single Rolling Loud
every year.
In the rare instances, if it was like in Thailand or some shit, you'd get like the top Asian rapper from that region or whatever. But like if in terms of the US, well, actually maybe New York was a bit different, but in terms of like Miami and LA, I feel like the lineups have been almost identical in terms of the people you actually are paying and interested to see and seeing.
Yeah, I feel like the only time it was different was when Kendrick dropped, because I think he used Rolling Loud as like almost one of the shows for the Mr. Morale concert, right? So I think people like
you mean Damn?
No, dude, Mr. Morale, I'm pretty sure like for example, like instead of him doing a Miami show for Mr. Morale and the Big Stepper, they just did an entire set. And like that was like the Miami stop.
Oh, 2022.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So besides that, I know there was also one year when Yeezy was like in full black garment. But besides that, yeah, dude, it's just been the same three people. I know for me personally, bro, but again, I get the idea if it's not broke, don't fix it. But this version of it is also the same reason why I don't go back. Because I'm like, I saw this in 2017. I saw this again in 2019. Like, you're not doing anything different to at least get the guy. Like, again, we've said it before, this isn't for us. But
yeah,
it could be if you gave me a variety of things that I could be looking forward to as opposed to something I already experienced personally here twice in 3 years.
Yeah, and maybe that's what it is. It's not like a Coachella where each year like might be a completely different experience. Seems like Rolling Loud's like you go once or twice and you kind of never have to go again unless you're that big of a fan. But then again, you would just go to that individual artist show. But for me, it's like when I look at these artists, I feel like the top 20 people you'd want to see are the same. And then the music they create is also pretty much the same. So I couldn't justify spending like $400 ever again if the lineup's pretty much identical.
To be in a garage in Miami, or not garage, a parking lot in Miami, right? Because that's like it's because not even Coachella where it's new acts every year, but they're also putting on a complete different experience. You're in Palm Springs, so there's something trippy about that. Like, bro, this thing is it's Miami Gardens, bro. Like this shit is nowhere near Miami. You're staying in, nowhere near South. Like it's like a weird experience, bro. So like, obviously grateful that you and I experienced that together multiple times now. But yeah, bro, like there was again, I have no reason to ever go back.
No, it's just not the kind of experience I think is worth it at this point. Definitely, if someone hasn't gone, I think it's worth it if they like a lot of these artists just to do it once.
Just do it once, especially because like you'll have that artist that you fuck with and like they're there, and it's also super easy just to get like front row access, right? That's always fun, right? Because it is like, again, dude, in what other setting will Nav feel like a fucking absolute god, right? Like besides a Nav concert. So that part is dope. Yeah. So again, if you've never been, check it out. But I do think there's something to be, I don't know what's the sustainability moving forward where there doesn't seem to be much of a desire to even mix it up. That's like the odd part. Like at some point, like, bro, you can't keep rolling out Future and, Travis. Like, dude, at some point, we've seen this already. Like we've seen the show. Like, why would I engage in this?
Right. Well, I'm very curious, like, what percentage of their customers are first time? Because if like 90% of the tickets are people who've never been, then sure, do the same artists over and over. But if like half of them are returning, I feel like at a certain point they'd have to switch it up, especially because like the Futures and Lil Wayne's and stuff, I would imagine aren't going to be releasing new albums. At a certain point, it's going to be one single every now and then, and that's it.
It's just classics.
Yeah.
It's just classics.
I think it's blatantly obvious that, there seems to be not many new superstars either that can replace like those top 10.
That's the other thing of it, right? So like from like I think the guy's name is Tariq, right? The guy Rolling Loud.
Tariq.
Yeah. I think from their standpoint, it's also like, bro, these guys are the biggest names in the industry. They clearly fuck with us in a big way. Why would we ruin that relationship and not have them headline it, right? So I see both sides of it, but as a consumer who already consumed this, bro, I can't, dude. It almost feel like in hindsight, bro, 2 times feels like too much. You know, I think like we were both obviously like getting our feet wet, like financially, and things were going well for us, and it was like, all right, bro, let's do it one more time. Like, who cares? But like a third time would just be like stupid, you know? Like again, only because as well, like we've seen the acts. And then it's also like, bro, it feels like the crowd's only getting younger and we're only getting older. So it's like, why are we here?
Right. To me, I feel like they're operating because they're becoming more commercial. Obviously, I feel like kind of operating like the radio, in that sense. And it's just like whatever's hot, that's the purpose of this event. And even the people that are like the newer artists that are on stage, like I've heard of a lot of them, and I think it's just because they're buzzing on social media or they have like one fucking hit song that went viral on TikTok and they got invited. So I feel like they're just playing like labels, just playing the numbers game, and it's like whatever's gonna sell the tickets. So I don't blame them, but I just wish there were better showcases of like new talent to discover, because you can only see Future and Travis so many times.
Yeah, and then again, this is like the only event you could even see Playboy Cardi, it feels like. So maybe that attracts so many people just for that in itself. But again, well, you've never been to it. 10-year anniversary Rolling Loud happening is it in a couple months?
I think it's December. Or sorry, actually, when is it? I think it is December. And if it's not 2025.
It might be 2025. Because I feel like when we went, it was May. So the fact it's already August makes me think that's the lineup for like in 2025.
It is July. No, that was 2023. Yeah, I think it's next year. I'm pretty sure they do it like in the spring and shit.
Yeah. I think I'm very confident when we went last. It was May because like I just graduated from my grad school program. But all right, bro. I'm gonna save the other 2 for nostalgia for next week. We're gonna go into the anniversary of some pretty classic hip-hop tracks and albums, so look forward to that. Episode 190, but episode 189 almost in the books. My guy, let the people know before we get out of here, what was your heat of the week?
Heat of the week, honestly, I think It's Up by Drake. It was kind of the only new song that was worth listening to, in my opinion, last week. I think we already said as much as we possibly could about that song, but just a very great showcase of, Drake and 21 Savage and Young Thug, their like collaborative magic and spirit. Amazing song, obviously. And I'm selfish in the sense that I much prefer like good gym music or car bumping music, or just, getting the night started. And they do a great job of making music like that. So hoping he has more stuff like that on the way. Maybe not from Young Thug, because that motherfucker might be gone forever. But 21 Savage is still around making.
I like the bar that he had about Young Thug, about like I think he's learned,
his lesson.
Learned his lesson. Let him like dude, again. I think the bars were fire. But again, I think it wasn't until this episode that I realized like, we've gotten a lot of Drake content, but this is the first like Drake featuring other people content we're getting. So it kind of helps your perspective. But I agree, man. 100 gigs overall, heat of the week. Pick a song, any song out of those 3. I think everyone replayed them multiple times over the weekend. So definitely adding that to the heat of the week playlist. And we might have some throwbacks for you guys next week. But my dude, let's get out of here. Let the people know what we got going on.
Yes, sir. Catch us at audio-theory.com. New episode every week on all platforms. On the site, we also have the Heat of the Week playlist, so be sure to check out that selection on Apple Music and Spotify. And if you're on the website or on YouTube, check down below. We have merch for you to cop. Otherwise, please like, share, subscribe. Do what you can to support the channel.
Do what you can. Before we get out of here, I know you're going on a trip. in a couple of days. What's the besides quality family time, what's the one thing you're most looking forward to in Jamaica?
I would say bamboo rafting. Seen a lot of pictures of that on like TikTok and Instagram. And all my trips as a child, like that was never something I had ever done. I'd been to the beach a million times, but never did bamboo rafting. So really looking forward to that. That's probably number one.
So when I hear rafting, I think of like choppy waters. Is bamboo rafting different? Like, is it just like a chill vibe on the beach, or?
No, this is like chill vibe, like Instagram thought type.
Okay.
Scenic environment, like not a fucking ripple in the water. Like,
oh, I know, calm. Dude, that's so funny, bro. I'm not gonna name any names, but you said Instagram thought, and I immediately thought, you're right.
Yeah, you've seen the photo.
Okay, so this is just like, just cruising around. You might as well be kayaking, but it's just like more like authentic local Caribbean vibes.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome. Well, have a great time, bro. You leave we're recording this on Tuesday. You leave Thursday night?
Thursday night, yep, and I'll be back Tuesday night.
What's that commute, bro? Like that flight from the West Coast all the way essentially to here? Like what's that, like 7 hours?
Fly to Fort Lauderdale. So I'll be there from like 6 a.m. to 10. If you're so inclined to be at
the airport
at 7 a.m. Meet me for a coffee. No, I'm kidding. But then after that, I have to fly to Jamaica. I think you have like basically no choice but to go to like Atlanta or Florida to get to Jamaica.
Yeah. There's no way. I was trying to think. There's no way that's a direct flight. I was gonna say, are there direct flights that you know of, or is everything like a layover?
Sorry, you froze for a sec. There is. I don't think there are any direct flights.
Okay. Yeah, because I feel like that would be a bitch. But all right, bro. Well, have a great time. Hopefully you don't get delayed on either way. But if you do, let me know, and then I can swing by and we can go to fucking boat campers, get a beer at the airport like last time. So let me know.
Sure, sounds good.
I do. Love you, man. Safe travels.
Love you too. Thank you.
Peace,
sir. Peace.